All right, guys. Hope you're having a great week. Welcome to your spiritual kickoff. Now, yesterday was a special day. Yesterday was Father's Day, and for Lions, I know a lot of you Lions out there, you are fathers. Hope you had a wonderful day. Hope your family celebrates you. You got some downtime, some relaxing, whatever that looks like for you in your life. I am blessed. I have a father that's he's my hero. You know, he's my guy. You know, I can text him, call him, whatever I need. I know he's going to give me the truth. He's going to help me figure out stuff that I struggle with figuring out. So, Daddy, if you're listening, happy Father's Day. I hope you had a great one. So this week, guys, I have a special message, very special, that I want to give to the guys out there that maybe are struggling. Maybe they want to be a dad. And it just hadn't happened yet, okay? And this happens a lot. It happens a lot. And I have some stories that I'm going to share that hopefully are going to help you guys. I will tell you up front, this is the hardest messages that I've had to deliver ever as a podcast host, especially on the Line Within Us. You know, I got a lot of great feedback on the Lions and Anxiety message. This one that we're talking about this week, let's just say it's about 10 times harder to bring that to you guys. But I feel like it's important. But let's jump into our scripture. Okay, the scripture for the week, we're going to be in Mark chapter 5. And we'll be looking at verses 35 through 43. So I'm going to read that right now. While he was still speaking, okay, he there is Jesus, they came from the house of the synagogue official, saying, "Your daughter has died. Why trouble the teacher anymore?" But Jesus, overhearing what was being spoken, said to the synagogue official, "Do not be afraid any longer. Only believe." And he allowed no one to accompany him except Peter and James and John, the brother of James. They came to the house of the synagogue official, and when he saw commotion and the people loudly weeping and wailing, and entered in, he said to them, "Why make a commotion and weep? The child has not died, but is asleep." They began laughing at him, but putting them all out, he took along the child's father and mother and his own companions and entered the room where the child was. Taking the child by his hand, he said to her, "Talitha cum," which translated means, "Little girl, I say to you, get up." Immediately, the girl got up and began to walk, for she was 12 years old. And immediately, they were completely astounded. And he gave them strict orders that no one should know about this. And he said that something should be given to her to eat. Guys, we're going to get into this scripture. We're going to dig into it. On Wednesday's episode, you're going to understand even more why this scripture is what we're talking about this week. Okay, so first of all, for our spiritual kickoff, let's talk about where Mark is, okay? It's the second gospel. Remember, guys, not everybody knows this stuff. So Matthew's the first gospel, Mark is the second. So you should go right there. And the gospel in Mark focuses more on what Jesus did more than any other ones. I mean, really more than what he said. This is an action gospel, okay? And what I want you to think about with this scripture, of the people in this account, who do you relate with the most? Because we're going to have several people. We'll have Jarius. Okay, now Jarius is actually the synagogue leader. We'll talk about him in a minute. Then we have the mourners. We have the 3 disciples. We have the messenger. And then we have the girl. The girl. So let's talk about Jarius, okay? So he's the father. He's the dad here. And he was an administrator in the synagogue that Jesus attended in Capernaum, okay? And one thing you guys got to know, you got to recognize, if you're a dad, you'll get this. There's no pain like kid pain. There's no pain like kid pain. Bottom line. So Jarius, he was probably excited, that Jesus was there, and he actually agreed to go. His faith was strong. I mean, he just knew that if Jesus could get there, he can make it better. And he wanted him to basically go there and lay hands on his daughter, and without a question in his mind, she would be healed. And it's interesting, if you back up a little bit in the scripture, on the way there, that's when the woman actually touched Jesus's, basically his robe, his clothes, and the power was taken from him, and he stopped and asked, who touched me and things like that. Can you imagine Jarius' mind during all that's happening? His daughter's dying. This lady comes in and basically interrupts, and Jesus takes time out to talk to her and to bless her, right? But as a dad with kid pain going on, he was probably just stressed to the max. Can only imagine, right? How do you think he was feeling? I mean, I can personally just feel the stress, right? Then you had the mourners. So remember, when they got there, they were weeping and wailing, right? And then what happened after that weeping and wailing? They went to laughing, right? They were literally laughing. Maybe they thought he was foolish, right? Maybe they thought, why? What is this guy doing? We know that she's dead. What are you talking about? She's asleep. We know the difference between dead and asleep. So, I mean, it's just interesting that they went from wailing and crying to laughing at Jesus. They're mourning. Then you got the 3 disciples, and there's 3 boys that hang out with Jesus all the time, right? And they had seen so much already. Just think about it. Just in Mark, I went back through. They saw him cast out demons, heal disease, leprosy, right? The paralytic, the deformed guy with the deformed hand, he fixed it. They saw him calm the storm on the water. Before this is when he had to run in with Legion, the guy who was possessed and had 2,000. When Jesus basically called the demon out, and he left him. He went into those demons went into the pigs. They said over 2,000 of them, and they ran off the cliff. Right, so all that stuff, and then they just saw him, literally just saw him heal by being touched, somebody touching his clothes. So these guys had seen a ton, and they were probably just thinking like, what's next? Like, what is getting ready to happen? And this is the first account in this gospel where he overcomes death. And he had all those other miracles, right? They were among the living, but he's getting ready to overcome death. So I can only imagine those 3 disciples being with him in those moments. Then you had the messenger. The messenger came up, and nobody wants to deliver bad news, right? Nobody wants to. You don't want to be that guy that has to deliver that bad news. And he was just telling them what happened. Hey, the girl's dead. We don't need to bother him anymore. We don't. Let's just let the teacher go. And the teacher, he said teacher. They knew that he was a wise man, but they missed that he was God. So the messenger was doing his job. And then you have the girl. And we don't know what happened, but put your place in that room and picture her point of view, okay? Eyes open, and you see Jesus right there. And for believers, this will be the case for all of us one day, right? We're going to close our eyes, and we're going to open them, and he'll be there. And wouldn't you have loved, go back to the Bible stories, wouldn't you have loved to just walked out of that room with her, hand in hand, with the parents, and let's see who's still laughing now, right? So just remember, there is no pain like kid pain. There's no pain like kid pain. And in this instance, it's a beautiful, beautiful rendition of the healing power of Jesus. But not every story ends in healing. And I get that. I know that. And sometimes we can't explain what happens. And in those moments, we have to cling to him tighter than ever. So guys, this is an important scripture. And we're going to really dig into it. Wednesday, I'm going to share a story with you. Because in May of 2020, I prayed this prayer to Lithia come specifically, which means, little girl, I say to you, get up, over my daughter Faith. And unlike Jarius, she didn't open her eyes. And I wanted to share the journey with everybody out there. Not for me. I just want to encourage you, because there's guys listening. You guys may be struggling with having kids. Your wife may They be having that struggle right now. And this is not pity on Chris, but I want to lift you guys up, and I want to let you know that you are not alone. You're not alone. So I do pray you come back on the Wednesday episode. Check it out. I'm gonna share a lot of things with you guys. I'm gonna be very vulnerable, very transparent, very open. And I really pray that it's a message that helps you, that encourages you, that lifts you up. Now, the question of the week this week, guys, how do you respond to God in your Job-like moments? How do you respond to God in your Job-like moments? You know, Job, he went through a ton, literally lost everything. And how did he respond? He never turned, not for once, his back on God. So guys, we'll come on back again. This spiritual kickoff, if you enjoyed this one, if you got value out of it, I encourage you to share this out. This week is going to be really a week that I think you guys need to think about. Who do you know that's struggling with these topics? And share them out. Because it may not be you directly, but I'm going to share a stat with you on Wednesday that may blow your mind. There's more guys and couples that struggle with this type of child loss and pregnancy issues than you probably realize. And that's the encouragement for this week. So again, Mark 5:35 through 43, that verse, Talithia come, means a lot to me. And guys, I pray it lifts you up. So thank you again. I encourage you to go to the lionswithin.us. Join the Lions Den. Okay, that's one way you can connect with us. Join our Facebook group. You know, we're building a community over there. It's really encouraging to see how that's growing. We're trying to be there to serve each other, to help each other. Go check out our Bible study. You know, we're working on more and more content right now, but check out our Bible study. We have all sorts of resources. There's new blogs out. I'm constantly writing. We're editing. We're putting stuff out to try to serve you day in, day out. Every week, guys, we're here to serve you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening and tuning in to The Lion Within Us. There's so many other podcasts. There's tons of better podcasts. I get it. We're not the best, but we're trying to serve the Lord every week. And I pray these messages help you and that they encourage you. I'd love to hear from you. If you would give us a rating, a 5-star rating, and write a review, that would mean the world to me. That's a really encouraging thing for me sometimes, just to go read those reviews just to see, is it helping anybody? So I can tell you, your 1 or 2 sentences, they are really uplifting. And I thank you. So guys, I hope you have a great week. Come back, check out the meet. Now it's time to go out and unleash the lion within.